James Gunn. James Gunn and his DCU reboots. I am a big supporter of James Gunn taking over the DC brand. I think James Gunn, if anyone's going to do it, well, it's going to be James Gunn. James Gunn is going to be able to put that brand, put that franchise back on track with his rebooted DCU. But I will admit that I'm starting to think that maybe James Gunn's DCU, is a little messier than we might suspect it to be, because there's waiting for him to give us the plan, give us the outline. We know we got a new Superman. We know we got a new Batman. We know that Blue Beetle is apparently going to be the first character in the DCU, and then it's supposed to be like nothing from the DCEU matters. Well, we thought that Henry Cavill was gone, Ben Affleck was gone, and Gal Gadot was gone. But it turns out Gal Gadot might not be gone. Here's what comicbook.com had to say, and this comes straight from Gal Gadot herself. Speaking to comicbook.com, comicbook.com's Chris Killian for her new Netflix movie Heart of the Stone before the SAG-AFTRA strike, Gadot said that, as she understands it, she will be developing Wonder Woman 3 together with Gunn and Safran. I love portraying Wonder Woman, Gadot says. It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I hear from James and from Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together. And that comes to us from comicbook.com, not comicbookmovie.com. My goodness, what a mess this night has been. Yeah, so Gal Gadot might not be gone as Wonder Woman. Now, here's what I'll say about this is I like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I do. I don't like Wonder Woman 1984. I think that movie's honestly pretty bad. But the first Wonder Woman I like is about as much as everyone else likes the first Wonder Woman. But when it comes to DC and doing its reboots, it is starting to get really confusing. And I was giving it the benefit of the doubt until I saw Flash. And now that I have seen Flash, and spoilers for those who haven't seen Flash, but it made like not even $300 million. If you didn't want to see Flash, you're not going to see Flash. But we were kind of expecting that we might get some more answers, some solidified answers to our questions in the Flash about who's continuing, who's not continuing, what the world's going to look like. And they didn't really give us that, at least in my opinion. I mean, Ezra Miller, Barry appeared to be in a new timeline, in the Batman and Robin timeline, I guess, because George Clooney showed up. But there wasn't really a solidified answer to the rest of the characters, what's going on with them. And I feel like with Wonder Woman 3, I feel like if you're going to reboot the DCU, if you want to start fresh, don't continue stuff from a franchise that hasn't been working. Yes, Wonder Woman did very well at the box office. Wonder Woman and Aquaman are both, I think, the most successful DCEU movies that came out. But we're talking all the way back in 2017, that was. The audience has shown their cards. They are not into the DCEU anymore. And in extension of that, they're not into these characters and the actors who have portrayed the... Maybe I should rephrase that a little bit. The portrayals done by the actors, the characters that they have created, we're not attached to. They're not invested in. They've had Wonder Woman show up in like the past 3 DCEU projects. And I can tell you, I've been in every single one of the theaters when she pops up as Wonder Woman. My theater is dead silent. They can play that Wonder Woman theme over her as many times as they want to. Nobody cares anymore. And I feel like, no, this is no offense to Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like I said, I've liked her Wonder Woman. Not all of her movies, but I've liked her character. I like when she's popped up in the past. But if you're going to do a full reboot, if you're not doing the DCEU anymore and you're doing the DCU, do the DCU. Ditch the DCEU. Now, would I be interested in seeing a Wonder Woman 3? I think technically yes, but my instinct is to say no, because the last thing I saw of Wonder Woman solo movies was Wonder Woman 1984. And that I thought was really bad. And this report doesn't say anything about Patty Jenkins being involved with this Wonder Woman 3. It specifically says, Gal specifically says that her, James, and Peter are going to develop Wonder Woman 3. She doesn't mention Patty Jenkins. So whether Patty Jenkins is still involved or not involved, I wouldn't necessarily be angry if she was involved. 1984 I thought was a big fumble of the ball for her with Wonder Woman, but her first movie was really good, so maybe she could do it again with a third one. But the biggest problem is not whether or not I want a Wonder Woman 3. It's, does the general audience want to continue with the DCEU? And when you look at their box office, their numbers just steadily decline. Black Adam made like 393 worldwide. What was it? Shazam! Fury of the Gods made like 150 million worldwide or something like that. And The Flash, with Michael Keaton's Batman returning, you had Ben Affleck in there as well. You had Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in there as well. That movie didn't even cross $300 million worldwide, and no one went to see it. They don't care, James. They don't. Now, if you look at the phrasing in this quote, it's not exactly that optimistic, I guess you could say, because if you look at her wording specifically, she says things like, what I've heard from James and Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3. It doesn't sound like she's got a signed contract. It doesn't sound like they've promised her anything at this point. So maybe they're just in discussions. Maybe they're going to try and do something. If they can't make it work, maybe she will be booted like Henry Cavill was booted. But I don't know, guys. This news just doesn't really get me excited. It gets me more frustrated because of the fact that it just feels like they don't have a plan for the DCU. And if they do have a plan, it feels really sloppy. It feels really messy at this time. I feel like James Gunn needs to give us something. He just needs to give the fans a little bit more of an insight of what his direction truly is. Because right now, from the outside looking in, it just looks sloppy. But what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Gal Gadot possibly returning for a Wonder Woman 3? Would that excite you? Do you want it? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about this, guys. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying about this.